Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander, where today we're taking a look at the new Niv-Mizzet legend from Foundations, the 7th Niv-Mizzet legend. As always, like any of the cards you see here today, then please make sure you make your purchase through any of our lovely affiliate links in the description box below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but really helps the channel out quite a lot. And as always, all prices you see here today are provided by the fabulous sponsor of our channel, cardmarket.com. So, first, let's take a look at the new Niv-Mizzet. Niv-Mizzet Visionary is a legendary dragon wizard for 4 generic, 1 blue and 1 red mana. They are a 4/4 flyer and read, you have no maximum hand size. And whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. So the new legend here essentially turns Lightning Bolt into a draw 3, which is just, absolutely insane. Now for this deck we are going to be keeping to a lovely little budget of under $200, considering we are building this deck from scratch, we're not upgrading any pre-cons here. At the 1-drops we've got our first bit of non-combat damage in Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast and Molten Vortex. Remember, each of these with Niv out draws us that many cards. Having Lightning Bolt also draw you 3 cards and become Ancestral Recall is rather good. Bonfire of the Damned is a great way to screw one player over in particular, especially if it's cast for its miracle cost. We're also running an Offer You Can't Refuse to protect our big dragon and Faithless Looting to get us through cards early. Curiosity is in here because, let's be honest, we're also running the other Nivs, and this combo is cheap and it just simply works. Now moving up to the 2-drops, and here remember that ramp is really not Izzet's thing. Arcane Signet, Izzet Signet, Talisman of Creativity, and Felwar and Mindstone because our commander costs 6 mana, and we need them out to make our Lightning Bolt into card draw, so getting out as early as possible is rather important. Speaking of card draw, we've got a lot of creatures that will also be dealing non-combat damage. Coruscation Mage pings each opponent, so that's 3 damage and 3 cards whenever we cast a non-creature spell. And the Offspring cost means we get another happy little otter to do it again. Kessig Flame Breather does the same thing, although no Offspring cost. Mischievous Chimera gives the addition of Scrying 1, but the spells have to be during our opponent's turn. And Razorkin Needlehead is more punishing aggressive use of draw spells, or people just not paying for the heuristic study. But we aren't finished with damage here, no. Comet Storm for a nice game ender, or just to draw enough cards it doesn't really matter anymore. Grab the Prize is a weird little rummage effect that also nets us 6 cards thanks to Niv's ability. And Flame Rift is just 2 mana, draw 12. Balanced. Roiling Vortex is just a nice 1 card a turn, but also massively punishes anyone for playing Pact cards or, well, Lotus Petal, I guess. And lastly at 2CMC, I really wanted to have actual protection for our commander because while Izzet Burn is still fine, you kind of need Niv out to keep fueling your hand to keep burning people, otherwise you're going to lose cards very quickly. So Counterspell and Arcane Denial are just good solid counters, and the new Untimely Malfunction can help redirect any kill spells. I'm also going to put both pairs of boots in here, which I haven't done in years in a deck, literally, but Niv being around is so important that a bit of redundancy is fine with me. And if we get to do Niv things, then 1 dead draw really isn't a problem. Up to the 3 CMCs, and we've got a few enchantments here that are really going to help push the game along. Fiery Inscription is a nice draw 6 on any instant or sorcery spell. Maddening Hex is just a funny card to rotate around the table, dealing damage wherever it goes. And Descent into Avernus does draw 6 cards on the first go around the table, and then 12 cards the next time, which does mean we get to use all these cards before anyone else, so I guess it's worth it. If it does make our opponents lousy treasures. Aside from enchantments, we've got creatures like the new Fire Spitter Whelp to help deal out the damage, Gleeful Arsonist to continually punish our opponents for playing non-creature spells, and Slagstorm. Is at worst a sweeper for little creatures, at best a draw 9 for 3 mana. Now we do need to have a few non-damage spells like Crawl Space to make sure we aren't getting absolutely destroyed by any creature-based strategies. Hydroelectric Specimen serving as another save for Niv, or just a land if needed. Seething Song to hopefully get Niv out a turn or two earlier, or just more mana to sink into that Comet Storm. And finally Lab Maniac, because we do actually need a win condition and we are drawing a lot of cards. Like, just this draws us over a quarter of our total deck, and that's not even taking into account our pingers as well. Moving up to the 4 CMC slots, and we've got some rather fiery enchantments. Burning Earth is one of many reasons to run a card like Labman, because that is not only a lot of damage, but a lot of card draw, and we will deck out. And this ability is not a May ability, so we have to draw the cards. Leyline of Combustion shocks people for trying to interact with us, and the Elder Dragon War is shocking to everything that isn't ours, draws, and then makes us a flying dragon, which will mostly be used to block as we are very low on creatures. Now on to more instant and sorcery nonsense. Rewind I love for essentially being a free counterspell after it untaps the land, and Mizzet's Mastery, if overloaded, should just be winning us the game, especially if we're casting it on like turn 9 onwards. And Primal Amulet is a nice cost reducer, but is 100% played for the flip side of Primal Wellspring that'll copy any instant or sorcery you use the mana from it to cast. And the last card at 4 CMC is High Fae Trickster, a Vidalcan Ori on a creature with Flash. And I genuinely cannot believe they've actually printed this card. Seriously, it is insane and is going to be going in every single one of my blue decks from this point onward, and Niv is no different. Being able to flash in sagas or enchantments during our opponent's turn so we get the benefit of having their effects on our turn and not having to tap out is just insane. Hence why them having flash themselves just makes it so much better. Now, onto the big spells, the game enders, and the combos. Chandra's Ignition is a great way to clear the board and draw cards. Court of Ire is a reoccurring shock effect that then becomes 7 damage should we be the Monarch. A task made easier by having a great blocker of Stuffy Doll. A weird card that works perfectly for our deck, especially after casting a Blasphemous Act to clear away creatures and then deal 13 damage to an opponent. Pyromancer's Goggles lets us double any of our great burn effects, and Keranos, God of Storms, lets us draw an additional card if we're having a land, or just bolt someone's face. As previously stated, we are running both Niv-Mizzet Parun and Niv-Mizzet the Firemind, as both contain the key line of text that combos with our Niv-Mizzet in the command zone, and the same with Curiosity, which we are also running. Gotta have some way to actually straight up end the game if the burn just isn't getting the job done. Speaking of burn, Overlord or the Boiler Briggs is a good reoccurring damage that can also be removal, and Spiked Corridor or Torture Pit offers 2 sides that both help out the deck with blockers that ping on their demise, and a way to increase our burn's potential. And the very last card is a River of Tears, a lovely Cyclonic Rift budget alternative that, if we end up bouncing enough stuff, we get to return one of our permanents back to the battlefield, which, let's be honest, will be Niv-Mizzet. Now, onto the lands, and we are running a lot of basics. Mainly because we don't want to get destroyed ourselves by cards like Burning Earth or Price of Progress, so yeah. Mostly basics, but we do have a few important non-basic lands that do help the deck out. Riptide Laboratory is a great card to save our commander by bouncing it back to our hand when it is targeted. Shivan Gorge offers an on-demand ping and therefore card draw. And we also have Scorched Desert, which does the same thing but only gives us a single point of damage. But, you know, card draw is card draw. Overall, I think Niv-Mizzet is an incredibly good and cheap commander that can be built around for very little cost. And yes, of course, adding cards like Fierce Guardianship to it and Deflecting Sword will obviously help with the deck's construction and making it more consistent in what it wants to do, same with cards like Mystical Tutor. But they're not really needed massively, considering how powerful Niv's draw ability is. And that's what I like about him. He's a powerful Izzet burn commander that doesn't even need to run that much, if any, card draw. Just ramp to get him out, and burn to start the engines going. And that'll be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your favourite burn cards in Commander, especially ones we can put in Niv-Mizzet? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one of them. As always, all the information for Commander content is made possible thanks to the support of our amazing patrons. You guys are truly awesome. If you too like to become a patron of the channel and get access to exclusive EDH related rewards, then be sure to check out our link in the description box below. You can also support the channel through the quick and easy ways, liking this video, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that bell icon so you never miss a video. But that'll be it from me for now, guys. As always, I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.